there, welcome to the Producer Joe Show. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our last show last week. It was really remarkable. I had the executive producer of all of the Batman movies from 1989's Michael Keaton movie up through The Batman, which just came out a couple years ago. Michael Uslan, he was a really great guest, and it was a really fun show. And for Batman geek such as myself, it was really special. And he's going to be back on in October, and that makes me excited. But anyways, enough about that. If you don't mind subscribing to the YouTube channel, you can see the subscribe button right there. I appreciate that. There's a lot more really good shows to come. And with that, we're going to bring on my guest. My guest is Coe Lewis, formerly of KGB Radio for so many years. She's doing real estate. She's saving animals. She's saving elephants. And that's what she wants to talk about today. And that's why I've asked her to come on. And here we go. The one, the only, the beautiful Coe Lewis.
Oh, hey, Joe. Hi.
Hi there.
It's a tough act to follow with a guy who worked on Batman, so you're stuck with me now.
You know what? I'll take you any day. And you know what? You see my logo up in the corner, and just for you today, I'm changing that to Nasefu.
Thank you.
And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. We'll get into that in a minute here. How have you been? I know that Amy and I came to see you at an open house that you had. And how's life with you right now?
I have to tell you, I'm literally crazy and insane right now. Not that it's much different than my normal self, but I am leaving July 5th, and I have so much going on between getting ready and packed for Zambia, which is like a military operation. And, I'm taking over ranger gear and computers and all that stuff. So there's a lot going on there. Getting on my travel medication. I'm taking a bunch of San Diegans over and some people from the Midwest who are going to go on my Coe safari. So what happens is when I go over every summer, at the beginning of the summer, I invite people to be part of a safari with me. And we just go out into the bush together and share these amazing experiences of watching God's perfect animals in the field, doing what they do in the wild. And there's just nothing more. The biggest joy I get when I take travelers to Zambia with me is watching them see animals for the first time. I just love to see their reaction, and it's life-changing. Everybody who goes there on this Coe safari, they come back different. They come back with this amazing feeling of, wow, nature really is something else. And I have people who are coming back again this year who went with me last year. So it's really, really fun. And if anybody's ever interested in going over with me every year, you can go to Coe, C-O-E, at Nasefu, that's NSEFU.org. And just in the subject line, say, hey, go Coe Safari. And I'll get you on the list for next year. But it's becoming really popular taking people over. So I got that going on. And I'm doing real estate so I can support my my drug of choice. That would be conservation. And I'm crazy right now, but so
you mentioned
thanks for asking.
You mentioned other people joining you. And I just met a Facebook friend a couple of weeks ago who was going to be joining you out there, and I believe that she said that she's been at least one other time. Laura Knox.
Oh yeah, she's coming back. I'm excited. Yeah, she had a wonderful time. Everybody has a wonderful time, and it's the safari camp that we're on is Zakomo Safari, and it's a beautiful bush camp. I was raised in Ethiopia, and my father had a bush camp, and it's a real experience. You are very comfortable We're right on the Luongo River where all the animals are coming through the camp all the time. So it's really not unusual for an elephant to be outside your door or some lions passing through. It's really a magnificent setup. And it's the only way I would do Africa is going through a real bush camp.
I remember when we went to your open house, you told us that you came out and there was a friend of yours, I think, reading a book, and you're like, don't move. Can you tell me that story real quick?
In fact, I just talked to her. Her name's Tammy. So she was staying at the chalet, and it's a raised chalet. It's a raised foundation. So you're up off the ground because, you know, when the river swells, it can come up to that area. So I'm walking back from the restaurant area, and all of a sudden I see her reading a book, and right beside her is this enormous bull elephant. So she is silhouetted against this bull elephant, and she has absolutely no idea he's there because elephants are really stealthy. As enormous as they are, they're super stealthy. So I'm walking up, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Coe," and I'm like, I'm motioning her to be quiet, like, be quiet. And I was pointing, I'm like, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, and so she did a slow turn, and she looked at me like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "Hey, don't move. Just don't move. They'll move along." But she, oh my God, her eyes almost came out of her head because he was, I'm going to say he wasn't more than 5 feet away from her, and she never even heard him come up. They're that stealthy. And he
So
was
shockingly,
big.
they're the ninjas of the jungle.
They're the ninjas. You have no idea, they sneak up on you. And yeah, it's really fun. So that's the beauty of this camp, is that you are literally right on the river. By the time we get there, the river's retreated, but animals always go to water. So they come right through the camp, and it's just magnificent. I'm so excited.
Now, if you guys ever wanted to check out what Coe does and the website and all, that's the website right there. It's very informative, packed. It's really cool. Maybe one of these days we can get down there. I hope.
Oh, I'd love it. You know, for those listeners who are just watching or never thought about what's going on in Africa, when I was a kid, when we would do game drives, my dad would throw me up on the roof rack so the guests could sit inside the Land Rover. And and I'm not kidding you, when we would go out, you would see herds of animals that were so far, you couldn't see the end of the herd. You couldn't see it, like elephants and buffalo and zebra. And when I was younger, there were 10 million elephants on the continent, 2 million rhino, and now we are somewhere in the 300,000s of elephants. And as we all know, rhino are critically endangered, maybe 25,000 left in the wild. And it's horrific to see what has happened to that continent, all driven by greed, all driven by criminal syndicates who come in and prey on poverty. And they come up to people who have no money and say, "Here's a couple of bucks, I want an elephant." And they're taking down these magnificent creatures for ivory. And that ivory or that rhino horn is out of the country and the continent in mere hours. And it's the third biggest illegal trade in the world, behind sex and human trafficking, and weapons, you know, armed military weapons that are around the world. You know, there's just, it's just really bad. It's really, really bad. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars every year.
And when you're not there, boy, I hope that echo isn't on the broadcast.
I don't hear an echo.
When you're not there, these rangers are doing a lot of work, right, behind the scenes.
So Nsefu, I co-founded with my teammate Victory Wallace. Back in 2015, we became a 501c3, a nonprofit. So we're based here in San Diego, and we're based in the Nsefu sector where we work in Zambia, and that's why we're named Nsefu. And when we started this concept of having an anti-poaching foundation, we decided we would do the 3 E's of conservation, and that would be education, economic opportunity, introducing jobs into the region, and enforcement, which is, of course, our ranger team that we run 365 days a year. Those guys are always they're doing long patrols, short patrols, rapid patrols. They're always going. And something I'd like to bring up is that we're doing a critically important fundraiser right now for a vehicle, a good used vehicle, to replace the one that we have that's pretty much held by baling wire, I think, right now. Because if you can imagine, the terrain in Africa is so unforgiving, because these guys aren't going out on the road. They're going inland. There's something called cotton soil that will rip your transmission out. It's crazy. So we are desperately trying to raise funds for our new truck, and we're doing bucks for a truck. And if you go to our website, you can donate there. There's lots of ways. We've got QR codes. You can show up at events. There's all sorts of ways. But we need to get about 20 to 25,000 US dollars for a good used vehicle. And we're about halfway there. So we got to close the gap so we can keep those rangers going, because with no vehicle, you're not effective. So we got to get a vehicle.
And you do fundraisers throughout the year, right? I know
Yeah.
Like
we're at events like dinner and a concert series twice a month. You could see us there. We have our benchmark events like the Nasefu Wildlife Motorcycle Monkey Run, the motorcycle run with Clint August of KGB. We've got our annual event called Rock the Wild, where bands donate their time and talent to help us raise funds. We have great silent auctions, and we're going to be bringing back Toast for Tusks later this fall. We'll have more details coming up on that. So we've got a lot of good stuff that we do, and we like to do these benchmark events, so people always know that we're out there talking about conservation, talking about ways to stop poaching, just spreading awareness, as much as trying to raise funds. Awareness is as important as raising funds.
Yeah, I know good old Michelle Bailey over at Full Circle Saloon is really.
Oh yeah, she's been amazing.
Massive help.
She's been amazing, and that's something that I just wanted to reiterate, is that I'm so humbled and honored that so many bands and clubs have rallied. When I ask for help, for Nasefu Wildlife, they have just stepped up and given their time, talent, resources. And I just want to thank all of them, everyone, for just continually supporting me in my dream with Vic, changing the world, and it's really working. We've probably dropped poaching in the region now close to 80%, which is pretty staggering, because we're outperforming the big organizations. Hands down. I mean, dollar for dollar, we are definitely having more impact. And the beautiful thing is all these really creative ideas and program ideas that we have, they're being copied now by the bigger groups, which I'm thrilled with. They can run with them. The more we can get great, effective programs out there, the more animals we're going to save. And that's really what we're trying to do, because like I said, when I was young, millions upon millions of animals. And I really want you and your kids and your grandkids to be able to see these animals in the wild.
Sure. You mentioned the people who support you, and that's a direct reflection of you and your passion and everything that you do, and what a great person that you are. And
thanks, Joe.
People bend over backwards for you, and I know that. And you're definitely one of my closest friends, and we appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a team effort. I just happen to be, one of the co-founders, but we have a great Nasefu team here in San Diego. We have a great Nasefu team in Zambia, and it's just everybody pitching together for the greater good. And we couldn't do it without these people. Just wonderful supporters.
Well, I've been told that this echo I have going on is going over the broadcast, so it's just me.
Oh, it
It's
is?
only my voice for some reason. I don't know what's going on here.
Uh-oh.
So I apologize if anybody's getting terrible audio. And now it stops. I mention it, and now the echo stops.
See?
I had my daughter.
Boom.
I had my daughter check on it. She goes, "Yeah, it sounds demonic. Only when I talk, you know." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
You're
So
the last
is there
person
anything?
who's demonic.
I hope. Is there anything else you'd like to? Oh, wait. I have some pictures here from your outings.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Hi, Mitch.
It's fun. It's really fun to go out in those vehicles and share a wildlife experience with somebody who's never been there. And it is, I wish I could put a price on it. You can't put a money amount on it because it's so magical and spectacular. Seriously.
Well, we're going to do a podcast. While you're down there, we're going to do a podcast.
I'd love that. And right here, Vic is right next to me on this, wearing the same color shirt as me.
Yep.
And this was the first building we rented for our sewing program. So these women here are still with us. We started off with 136 women who wanted to learn how to sew, learn a trade, and earn an income. First time they'd ever earned an income. So these women are just kicking butt and taking names. We are now in the Bonnie Dines Women's Center, and the program's in the Tommy Raskin sewing program, part of the building, and we are training new girls coming through. And here's a wonderful story. One of the ladies who started with us at the very, very beginning, she had lost her husband at a young age. She had 3 small children. And as you can imagine, poverty in Zambia is terrible. It's 98% unemployment rate. So do the math right there. So she had to move back with her family, of course, putting more financial stress on that family. And what this program has done is she was able to earn an income. She's been able to sell products she's made, and she just built her own home, which is unheard of in the sector. So she's a pioneer, and this program, because people have supported us and helped us buy treadle machines and helped us get a new building, you are changing people's lives beyond, I could never verbalize the impact that our supporters are having, how you are changing lives. And once you address the basic needs of people, then they'll hear your message. If they're starving to death, it's hard to cut through the clutter. But once you address the basic needs of somebody, they will hear what you're doing. They will champion what you're doing. And these women are sharing their story with their families, talking about conservation, and it continues out like a pebble in a lake. It just, everything ripples out, and it's amazing to see. And we built 2 schools, K through 12. So now we have over 1,000 students under our clutches of training and teaching about conservation. We have a traveling conservation team on bicycles. They go throughout the sector to other schools. They talk about conservation. They have conservation clubs where kids get to do tree planting and learn about their environment and the value of their wildlife. And so we've dug 3 boreholes in the area to help with just basic needs of water. And we also mitigated getting one of the water wells for people to stay away from the water wells, so the animals could have their own well and there would be no human wildlife conflict, which is a big thing that's going on. And we've got another program called biofencing, where we use beehive fencing to reduce human wildlife conflict. And wherever we run this fencing, we have 100% success rate where crops are not raided and animals killed or injured because they are raiding crops because people are encroaching into their wildlife corridors. So we've got a lot going on.
I'm learning so much today. I thought I already know a lot, but oh, there's my demonic voice again. Cool. Right on. So yeah, you do all your fundraisers. You
Yep.
have some really great people out there.
And right there, that picture, Joe, right there is someone I want to acknowledge. The man in the middle is His Royal Highness Senior Chief Nasefu. And when we first started this, you just can't go into somebody's area and tell them what to do. That's not going to work. We developed a great relationship. It started with Vic and her husband David when they started Zacomo Safari. And we went in and told the chief what our vision was for the sector, how we wanted to lift the sector, and we wanted his blessing. Nobody else had done that. Everybody just came in and told people what to do, and it wasn't resonating as well. And so we went in as a partner, and everything we promised we were going to do in the sector, we've done and beyond. So he's given us multiple pieces of land for our rangers, for the community center. He's been a huge partner for us, and we adore him. We absolutely.
Well, you've proven yourselves. You've made a lot of changes, a lot of difference.
Yeah, but you can't do it without his blessing, and I'm happy to say we've got a great relationship with him.
Now, while you were talking, it's been a long time since I was in high school. While you were talking, I'm like, well, where is Zambia exactly? So I looked this up, and it's down towards the southern region. That's quite a distance you got to go. How long is your flight?
Oh, it's a 2-day flight. I go on Emirates because I need a break in Dubai. So we get a free hotel room in Dubai, and then we take Dubai to Lusaka, which is the capital of Zambia, and then we take a puddle jumper from Lusaka to Mafui, where we're based out of. Mafui is the main place there. It's got the airport and all that stuff. So, but a lot of people get confused about Zambia. Zambia and Zimbabwe. You probably, if you're old enough, you might remember the British names Rhodesia and Northern Rhodesia. That's Zambia and Zimbabwe were under British rule. And they had a name change back in the 60s when they became independent.
Well, that's exciting news. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
because when I lived in Ethiopia, they were still very much considered the Rhodesias. So.
Well, I'm trying to fix my audio trouble here. I don't know why I'm having.
It's because I'm on. I'm messing everything up for you.
I'm afraid to click anything or we might go off the air, but and now it's stopped again. So anyways, so talk to me a little bit about your real estate. How's that coming along?
Well, I'm doing real estate because conservation is really freaking expensive. And I've been licensed since 2001. And I'm actually with the company I started with way back when. And I have been a real estate investor my whole time in San Diego. And I love real estate. Real estate comes very naturally to me. And I have been honored and lucky to have sold a lot of homes in San Diego to people I love. And
what
new
company are you
clients. It started off as Century 21 Award, and now it's Century 21 affiliated. It's the #1 Century 21. Ooh, look at those 3 people.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it the wrong company name before I asked you.
Yeah, that's the old sign that says award, and it's affiliated now. It's the #1 Century 21 in the world. It's enormous. So I work with a great team called Kurt and Ronnie Realty. I've known Kurt since I started in 2001, and we've been best of friends ever since. So when I came back into real estate full time, it just felt like getting back in the saddle, and I've loved it. I love it. I just love the art of the deal. I love sharing my knowledge of the power of real estate, how it can truly transform your life. It will change the trajectory of your life. And a lot of people are afraid to get into it. They think it's too expensive. The rates are too high, but I can definitely talk to somebody and guide them through it and show them ways to get in that they didn't think would be possible. I mean, we like to be really creative. We've got great people we work with, great lenders, great title. And I am a firm believer of real estate. You know, I got Chris Boyer into real estate and investment property. So
Really?
I am practice what I preach. Yeah, my mother had was going blind when I was a teenager, and we had lost everything trying to find a cure for her. I mean, we were financially like devastated. And the way my dad came back was buying the cheapest house in the best neighborhoods, and he would turn them into rentals. So I watched how it pulled us out of the hole. And I started investing in real estate in my 20s here. So it's one of those things I believe in. There's no investment I believe in more than in real estate.
Well, a few weeks ago, we visited you at that open house on Adelaide
Yeah,
Street.
you did.
And
you brought me a beautiful cactus plant.
Yes, we did. And it had elephants.
Yeah. Yeah.
That view was spectacular. And the piano
yeah,
came
in fact,
into place.
That's in escrow. That's in escrow right now. We should be closing in about a week or so. So I'm excited about that.
Are they taking the piano?
They're taking the piano. I know it's
Nice.
funny because his house, it was hard to get. Here's a weird thing, something I didn't realize until a few years ago, because I'd never encountered having a piano, a baby grand piano in my home. So my clients had this vintage Wurlitzer, and it's really expensive to move. And you'd think that people would want a fabulous, piano. You could give it away. No, can't give them away. Can't. Schools don't want them. Everybody's got electronic keyboards, and it's a shame because this is a great piano. So every once in a while, you'll have something random show up in a property that you have to find a home for, or you just, the people who are buying it are going to take it. So.
Well, it's probably because they realize one day they're going to have to move it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny. You would think somebody would want a beautiful, expensive musical instrument. Nope, too hard. Yeah. Is that crazy?
I just had a thought here. I was looking at my Shotgun Tom bobblehead. I was at his house the other day, and he says hello.
Oh, I love Shotgun. Speaking of, how funny you mentioned that, because the other day I was meeting with a potential client for a listing, and we decided to have lunch at the Highway 67, right there at Maple View and 67.
Right work, yeah.
And I hadn't been there, and I don't live far away from it. And he had a shotgun breakfast. I can't remember what it was, like shotgun eggs or something, and it was on the sign out there. I'm like, shotgun, yay! So that was fun.
He's got one there? I didn't know that.
Huh?
He's got
some special on their menu, and they do breakfast and lunch.
Oh, that's funny. That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, Shotgun. I love Shotgun. I love him. He's just the best.
I don't think
guy.
I've had a podcast yet that his name doesn't get. Maybe the Batman.
Oh my
guy,
God,
but
he's the best.
That he doesn't get mentioned. He's a staple.
He's the best. He's the best.
You mentioned it. Yeah, why not? You mentioned a name earlier, and I'll say it. Somebody asked Shotgun years ago if there's anybody that could supplant Shotgun as the personality, as the icon, radio. And I think I told you this at the house, didn't I? The open house. He mentioned Clint August as being that guy.
Clint is, I hope KGB realizes the assets they have in him. I mean, because you really need somebody that people know, love, and respect. And Clint does it all. He's funny, he's sharp, he's incredibly hardworking. I think that I think that's a great analogy. He
What
could really
he does
stand
for
the
the
test of
military
time.
community.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
people love him and trust him 100%, 100%.
I went a little sideways
And
there. That's just kind of my
no,
ADHD once
that's
again.
good. And Clint, I asked if he would help with a concept I had to have a motorcycle run because he loves Motorcycle Monkey and tie in the animal thing. And
Yeah.
he didn't even flinch. He said, absolutely, I'm in. So we're making this an annual event. And he's just that kind of guy. He's just that kind of guy. Love him. Love him like a brother.
Surprised, not one bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I got. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, if you're thinking of buying or selling a house, think of me because truly a huge part of what I make from real estate goes into my work in Africa. And that's why I'm doing this, is because I have a job to do. It's very expensive. Employing people, getting gear, trying to get a truck. I cry a lot because it's stressful. You know what I mean? I'm juggling a lot of things, and I seriously do sit in my car sometimes and cry because I wonder if I can do everything.
And guess what? You do it every time.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so grateful for the people who have supported us, and anybody who's actually thinking of buying or selling a house, just know a lot of that money is going to be put back into the world doing some good. So yeah, that would be wonderful. And then we lost you on the screen for a minute, Joe. So now you sound like demonic, and I'm losing you on the screen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you now. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, there's a delay. I swear, here at this house, the last 2 weeks, we have just been in technology hell. So
actually, I live out in East County, and my Wi-Fi has really sucked. So maybe it's a whole East County thing going on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
But
I just clicked something. Is this better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. I was afraid to click anything. Hey, we have a comment to the show. Let's see here. Boom.
Oh, hi, Marilyn. Hi. How is my real estate helping my sanctuary? Well, I bet probably 1/3 of what I make, a third to a half of what I make in real estate goes over to Zambia. So I truly am, real estate's expensive. So I've got my expenses here, dues and all that stuff. But anywhere from 33% to probably 50% of every commission I make goes to Africa. It's pretty simple. So, and that money I direct towards areas that we need help in. If we need to hire a couple more rangers, or if we need, other stuff. And I also am chipping in myself personally and trying to get a new vehicle. So thanks for asking, Marilyn. By the way, I miss you, Marilyn.
It's doing it again. Seriously?
Are you demonic now?
I don't know. I'm telling you, the last 2 weeks in this house, I've had to get a new router. My Roku died. Yes, there might be a delay, but yes. Oh, wait. Explain the sanctuary in general?
She said, did you already explain your sanctuary? Yes, I did, Marilyn. I sure did. Thanks for asking.
Well, since my ship is sinking on my side, it's only me. It's my stuff here. I think I'm going to cut this.
That's fine, sweetie.
End it.
But thank you for inviting me. You've had wonderful guests, so I feel really fortunate and lucky to be included in that. So thank you.
No, you're welcome anytime for sure, and I know you'll be back on.
Oh, thank you so much, and I'll miss you guys. So I'll be in Zambia if you guys want to email me or anything. So I'll be gone. I'm only going to be gone for a month this time. I usually go 6 weeks to 2 months because there's a lot of work to do. But I'll only be gone a month because I got to get back to selling houses, support this place. So.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. I know you'll be back on. If I can figure out my demons here, maybe we can do a podcast from from Zambia. That would be kind of cool.
Would that
just
be
for
fun?
curiosity.
I would love it. Thanks, Joe.
Marilyn says, have a beautiful month.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn. I will. I'll think of you. I'll do lots of
Or-
pictures on Facebook for sure.
Yeah, we'll be watching. I know that much.
Yay.
Well, I'm
Good.
going to cut it short. I'm going to tease my next show, and you can
Who's
get
on
out of
next
here. I
week?
appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate you coming on here. And we'll do a wrap up when you get back. Is that okay?
Good. Who's going to be your guest next week?
Well, actually, I was able to squeeze one more in this week. It's a friend,
Oh, good.
Betty Monroe. She's an actress. She's a yogi. She's I might as well just do it right now. She's an actress, a teacher, a yogi, a business owner, and a mom. She's
Wonderful.
out of Atlanta. She was in that Jerry Falwell movie that was on Hulu a
Yeah.
couple like last year, I believe it was.
Mhm.
Really remarkable show, actually.
Good.
But yeah, she's going to be on
Sounds
tomorrow
awesome.
talking about her Nickelodeon work, her print work, all the other stuff that she does being a business owner. It's going to be cool. She's a really sweet lady. But back-to-back shows today, tomorrow.
Good. Well, thank you for having me on, Joe.
All right. Well, thank you, and we will talk to you soon, Coe.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So yes, thank you, Coe, for coming on. I will roll my outro now. This also has a tease for my next guest, and we will go right now. So tomorrow, 3:30 San Diego time, we will see you there. Thank you, and please subscribe. It means a lot to me. There's a lot of really great shows coming, and we'll talk to you real soon. All right.